Jason here. In this video, I've got a gear review just for you. And I'm gonna be talking about a guitar that I've had for a very long time. It is very special and dear to me, and it is the ESP LTD M1000 Deluxe. Alright, so a little history behind my LTD M1000 Deluxe. I actually bought this used from a dude about 8 or 9 years ago. At that time, I only had one electric guitar in my life, and I know what you're thinking, like, Jason, that is so freaking sad. How did you get through life? Well, there's some stories behind that, and maybe we'll save that for another time. But at that time, I just had this guitar, which is my Ibanez RG1570. This is an Ibanez Prestige. And I actually bought this from my close friend Tom. We played in bands together back in the day. And Tom, dude, I still have this, so I will definitely keep it in the family, as I promised. But I was looking for something a little bit more metal than this. I mean, this is a solid, rock guitar, and it can play metal too. I mean, you can really play metal on most anything. But I was looking for something that had more of that edge. I was wanting the EMG pickups. So another guy that knew me at the time, he was like, dude, I know you're looking for a metal guitar, and I actually have one you may want. I don't use it anymore. It's just sitting here. So he sold me this guitar for like 600 bucks. And I think back in that day, it was about, maybe $1,000 new. So kind of a cool discount there. So anyway, I played this guitar, of course, before I bought it, and I fell in love with it. I was like, holy crap. The one thing I'll tell you I like most about this guitar is it plays effortlessly. And that's exactly what I was looking for, because you guys know I play a lot of leads, and of course I play metal, a lot of fast riffing. So I didn't want one of those necks where you kind of feel like you get stuck in certain places. I don't know if you guys have played guitars like that. So I'm very picky about the fretboard and about the neck and that whole feel thing around this area. Yeah, that. I'm sure there's a fancy word for it. Now, real quick, the one thing that triggered me to do this video for you guys was I was chatting with Kevin Fassard earlier. If you guys like my channel, I'm sure you like his as well, because he's an amazing guitarist, and the dude is jacked and huge. So we got some cool things in common. But I was chatting with him earlier today, and he had mentioned this guitar. He's like, hey, dude, I've seen that guitar in your videos and just wanted to know, how it plays and a little bit about it. And so that kind of triggered me, hey, let me put something out there for you guys, because you've seen this guitar like in almost every one of my videos up to about a year ago when I started playing my 7-string. So this has been on 3 albums, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And of course, countless YouTube videos here. So you guys deserve to know everything about this guitar. Now I want to share a few specs about the guitar that are important to me, and I also think this is going to really help you guys because you need to know, and I'm going to tell you. So the first thing is the pickups. Now I was specifically looking for a guitar with EMG pickups, and I got it. It has the EMG 81 pickups. No, not 81 pickups, there's only 2. That was a bad pun. Anyway guys, yes, it has the EMG 81 pickups. And these babies are built for metal. In fact, this whole guitar is just built for metal. I love it. The other thing that was kind of important to me, semi-important, was it does come with the Floyd Rose as well. Now, I don't use my whammy that much, but I use it enough to where if I don't have it, I miss it. In fact, I bought another guitar like a year ago, purposely without the whammy, and then I got it home and I was like, it's just not working out. I miss this thing, Sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think that's a Cinderella song. Yes, it is. Anyway, so it's got the Floyd Rose. Now, one more thing I'll say about this guitar. This guitar never, well, most of the time, goes out of tune on me. And I've played countless guitars over the years, some with Floyd's, some not. And it seems like, I would say like 50% of the guitars I played have tunage problems. And this guitar, no matter how aggressive I use the whammy, it does not go out of tune most of the time. So it's pretty good about that. Now, the most important thing about this guitar, at least for me, and I think this is important for you as well, is the playability. So this neck plays super fast. Even if you're not a fast guitar player, I promise if you're to grab a hold of this thing and play it, you're like, I'm playing faster. It's like getting a new pair of shoes. You know, when you're a kid, you got a new pair of shoes. What did you do? You immediately ran around the house. You're like, man, these things make me run so much faster. Well, that's kind of how the M1000 Deluxe works, at least for me. And another cool thing I like about this has got true jumbo frets. So these frets are, you know, just a little bit bigger than your average frets. And to me, I like this. It helps me when I'm playing leads, especially when you're doing things like sweep arpeggios and some more technical, you know, type of playing. Those jumbo frets really help me out a lot. In fact, when I go to my other guitar that doesn't have the jumbo frets, that's like the first thing that I notice that I'm missing. I'm like, where's my jumbo frets? Now, I did tell you guys I would give this guitar a critique. And there's one thing, really only one thing I would change if I could about this guitar. And of course, while we're talking about the playability, the fretboard, I would change the width. I wish this was just a little wider. And of course, if you widen that just a little bit, you would have to decrease, you know, the neck thickness back here as well to do that so that your hands would, you know, fit around there. But that's the one thing in comparison when I'm playing my Ibanez, and I'll hold this up here. The Ibanez neck is just, or the fretboard rather, is just slightly wider than the ESP here. And I don't know if you can see it on camera here, but when you're playing, you can certainly tell. And of course, the thickness, you can probably see that, well, it's black, it's hard to see. There we go. The thickness, you know, of the neck back there, the Ibanez, of course, is a little thinner. So that's the only thing. If I had the dimensions of that Ibanez neck on here, but again, everything else stay the same, it would be the perfect guitar. So like if ESP ever endorses me and wants to make like a Jason Stallworth ESP model, then that's what it would be. Now here's some more cool history behind this specific guitar. It's been featured on 3 albums and 1 single. You guys remember back in 2013, I released my first album, Apocalyptic Dreams, which is an instrumental classic metal album. Now, a lot of times when I'm recording albums or when I'm doing projects or whatever, I'll use different guitars for maybe different parts, sometimes 2, maybe even 3 guitars. But for that album, I just use the LTD M1000 Deluxe on the entire thing. And of course, I have my rhythm tracks and I have my lead tracks, and those are all like metal, hard rockish. But I also had some clean and ambient style tracks on there as well, which again, this was the only guitar I used, and I was very, very happy through the whole recording process with this guitar. Now, the other album I recorded, Heavy Metal Workout, I used this guitar for the lead tracks for that. But then for Heavy Metal Workout 2, I went back to this guitar for the entire album. And I also used this on my single Christmas Presents that I released, I think it was in 2016. Now, I've also used this guitar for other people's projects. I've recorded some guitar tracks for other albums and songs and that sort of thing. And, you know, this has kind of been like my go-to. And lastly, you guys have seen this on like the majority of my YouTube videos here. Now, this thing is a beast for metal, so if you're into metal, it's definitely, you know, right up your alley. And the funny thing is, you know, many moons ago, when I first started playing guitar, when I really started playing in bands and that sort of thing, I got into playing Jacksons, and I still love Jackson guitars. Those are great guitars, and I hope to own another one someday. You know how as musicians, we go through guitars, you know, selling, buying, trading, all that good stuff, you know, especially when we're younger. But this is a guitar, guys, that I'll probably keep here for the rest of my life. It's got quite a bit of sentimental value to me as well, being on my first album and several others. And we've just been through some really cool times, and it's brought me a lot of like good fortune and luck and all that good stuff. So anyway, yeah, it's staying here, right here in the studio. So guys, let me know what your favorite guitar is and throw some cool things out there about it. Like, let me know what you like most about it, why it appeals to you so much. You know, I told you some of the things I really love about this guitar, mainly the playability, but I'd love to know what you guys play, what's your favorite guitars, and what are some of the things you look for. And of course, if you've ever played the LTD M1000 Deluxe, let me know that as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, as always, keep it metal.